Turbo 51 over here. I hope you're having a splendid day wherever you are in the world. Guys, it's time for round number 7 of our 3rd season of F1 2019 career mode. Guys, we've got 2 major engine upgrades fitted to the car. It couldn't come at a more perfect time. So you guys see there, 2 engine power upgrades are fitted to the car, and as you guys see, we've made a big leap, and I think that it in itself deserves your like. So please go down below, drop a like. It's only gonna take you 2 seconds. So guys, that is Racing Point still upgrading their car. I don't know how. Leading the way from us now in P2 with McLaren, Haas P3, Ferrari P4, Red Bull P5, Mercedes and Williams tied for P6 and 7. P8 is Alfa Romeo, really quickly catching up to the back of those guys. P9 is Renault, and P10, finally, Scuderia Toro Rosso have started to upgrade their car. But guys, heading into this weekend, with the 2 engine upgrades fitted, we are now the 2nd quickest car on the grid. I would have loved if McLaren and Racing Point could have had a little fist fight, but we are going to see what happens, and hopefully that does happen. That would actually be quite cool. But as you guys see, going through the final chicane, close to the wall of champions, I have a little bit of a tank schlepper going out of there. Nothing too bad. And then in practice 2, we had a little bit of a bigger one. Yeah, busy with my quali pace program. I pushed it a little too hard, just dipped the wheel onto the grass, and it sent my car straight into the wall. So yeah, that happened, but it's not the end of the world. Guys, we are heading straight towards qualifying, and let's see where we can put this car on the grid. I'm super excited. Haas v McLaren, can the fight back start now? Let's go find out.
Looking at this field today, Anthony, do you think we're going to see anyone take a chance? Maybe run the high?
That really have track position is the most important thing, and it's rarely worth sacrificing for a slightly more optimal strategy in the race. So I doubt we certainly do see some risky decisions every now and then, and it's a gamble that's sometimes worth taking. But if it were me in the car, I would want to be on the fastest tyre for my qualifying lap, without a doubt.
Guys, once again, I apologize for the very jumpy intro there and the start of qualifying. Guys, unfortunately, I have no control when my PS4 decides it wants to record like a normal PS4. I honestly don't know why it does that, but it's not just a problem with my PS4. I've YouTube, Googled, all this type of stuff, all those types of things, and it's a problem on all PS4s, whether you've got the base one, the slim like I do, or the PS4 Pro. It does that. But in any case, guys, me and Devin Butler are safely through into Q2 and heading towards the end of our first run in Q2. We tried the medium tires because, guys, the pace was good. Not as good as in Monaco, I'm not gonna lie, but I felt good about this quali session. And as you guys see here, we actually did our final lap in Q2 by slipstreaming Sergio Perez the whole lap. We take 4/10 off of our time, and we are safely into Q2 with a P5. Devin Butler is in P9. Unfortunately, Sebastian Vettel and Carlos Sainz falls out in Q2. But it's a very jam-packed Q3. But guys, before we continue with Q3, I'm gonna apologize again. Because this was my mistake, actually. Guys, I do not know why, but for some other stupid reason, I forgot to hit the record function when I started my final lap in Q3. So you guys are gonna see my first lap, which is on a worn set of tires. You guys can see I was really hooked up with the circuit. I really felt very good during practice and qualifying. But what I'm gonna tell you guys now is where we qualified. Now, once again, I really do apologize. I honestly thought that I hit the record function, but all I did was stop one of my previous recordings, which I forgot to stop. And then when I wanted to start the final Q3 lap recording, all I did was just stop a very long one. So yeah, I'm really sorry about that. I will really pay attention to that in the future. But we are all just human. We all make mistakes. Everybody has those days. Yeah, what's that song again? Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Yeah, yesterday was one of mine because I recorded this yesterday. But in any case, guys, what I'm going to tell you now is that we qualified in P4, right behind the 2 Racing Points. And I think it was actually the Ferrari of Max Verstappen or Charles Leclerc who was in P3. I'm not quite sure. You guys, well, I can't quite remember because a lot happened yesterday. I also recorded France, which you guys are going to see Friday night. But in any case, through the final corner, guys, we are going to start from P4. Let's head straight to the Canadian Grand Prix. Yeah.
There is, as I look out of my commentary box window, a very large and very excited crowd here today, eagerly anticipating another memorable race. Lewis Hamilton took his maiden win on this circuit in 2007. Jenson Button came from last place to win here in 2011. And there's certainly no shortage of drama on offer here at the Canadian Grand Prix. It's one of the fastest races of the season here at the Circuit Gilles-Villeneuve, with around 60% of this 2.7-mile circuit taken at full throttle. There are 14 corners to navigate, the very last of which has its very own infamous history. It could be the cause of a safety car today. And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once again by Anthony Davidson. Let me ask you about Racing Point. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Great work from Lucas Weber yesterday sees him start from pole. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, O'Connor, Charles Leclerc and Butler, Hamilton, Bottas, Grosjean and Sebastian Vettel, Norris, Russell, Antonio Giovinazzi and Raikkonen, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Alexander Albon and Pierre Gasly. Kvyat and Carlos Sainz will start from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Let's be patient going into turn 1. We want to be in a good position for the rest of the race. Good luck.
Thank you, Jeff. And guys, I was correct. It is Max Verstappen in third place. We've got a tough race ahead of us. Rain expected at the very end. So this might be a strategic race, to say the least. But guys, please jam with me on the formation lap and make sure you are subscribed. Yeah. Ready for the Canadian Grand Prix. McLaren on P4 and P6 on the grid. It's Racing Point v Ferrari v McLaren, and it's go, go, go for the Canadian Grand Prix here in Montreal. As you guys see, I already squeezed Charles Leclerc, who got a fantastic start off of the line. The Ferraris are blisteringly off the line. I get sandwiched between my teammate and Charles Leclerc, but luckily I am the little piece of lettuce that just flew out of the sandwich. And now we are busy chasing after Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen going side by side. They're very slow through that second chicane, and we go there. We already passed Perez. Can we make the move on Max Verstappen's stick? We are on the inside. Come on, guys, we cannot fight. Lucas is going to run away with this again. That's Max nearly sends me around there by tapping my rear tire. But we are into P2 from P4. It looked like we were going to end up in P6, and won't you know it, we go up all the way to P2. So let's get our foot to the floor and see if there's any chance to get this McLaren tucked up underneath the gearbox of that Pink Panther in front, driven by my former Formula 2 teammate, Mr. Lucas Weber. So you guys see it going down the back straight for the first time. It is Lucas Weber leading the way already by a significant amount. Myself in P2, Max Verstappen P3, Sergio Perez P4, Devin Butler, my teammate in P5, Charles Leclerc P6, followed by the rest of the grid. There we go, guys. You guys can see I'm pushing stupidly hard as I take a very aggressive line through the final corner and get as close as I dare towards the wall of champions. That is the end of the first lap, guys. Now you guys can see here on to the end of lap 2. Sergio Perez is starting to pressurize Max Verstappen behind me, who I actually started to shake a bit. But guys, one thing that I quickly realized is that just because we had good pace in qualifying and practice, we should not get overconfident. We are still not near the racing points, even though it looks like that in the performance chart. But guys, the only conclusion I could come to is that all the upgrades that these guys have fitted since the middle of season 2 all the way till now have all been major and ultimate upgrades, because I can't think to my mind unless they do like 4 minor upgrades at once as Perez goes around my outside. Jeez Louise. You guys see now it's side by side for myself and Sergio Perez heading into the hairpin. But back to what I was saying, guys, I seriously think that these guys did all their minor small upgrades in the first season when Lucas Weber myself and Devin Butler joined Formula 1. I think Lucas made sure that they did all the minor nitty-gritty stuff the first season, and as soon as season 2 commenced, they hit us with all the massive major and ultimate upgrades. Because guys, I do not know how we're going to catch Racing Point. Every time you think you upgrade the car enough just to get a little bit closer, they upgrade as well. And one thing that was clear as daylight to me about this Grand Prix was that we at McLaren are still the underdogs and Racing Point are still the yard owners. They are the big dogs. We are the little dogs trying to make our presence felt. And the only way we can approach the rest of the season is to approach it from an underdog type of mindset. And if we get towards the same performance level as Racing Point, then we can start being like the new guy challenging the alpha, but you're at least the same size, if you guys know what I mean. I know I'm talking a lot of nature while we're watching F1, but you know what I mean, because as you guys can see, Sergio Perez, even with us having now the strongest engine on the grid, as well as aerodynamics, that Racing Point is just, it is an absolute bullet, no matter where you are. I can remember back in the end of season 2, I said it's a bullet in the corners. It's now a bullet everywhere. In any department, whether it comes to engine power, the powertrain, the aerodynamics, or the chassis, that car is a bullet. It sticks when you turn, it brakes when you brake, it needs the downforce when you need the downforce, it's got minimal drag, and it's...
One stop left in this strategy.
Thank you, Jeff. And it's got a butt ton of power in the engine. So they are truly the cars to beat. As you guys saw that I was the first guy to dive it into the pit lane. This is now Sergio Perez the very next lap. I was trying to go for an undercut, guys, because you guys saw that Sergio actually got past me. And I was really just... I don't know. I was actually driving this race in a very desperate form because... You guys, Lucas Weber at this stage seems undefeatable. Racing Point seem undefeatable. I am starting to take desperate measures because I honestly don't know what to do about these Pink Panthers. And I know that a lot of you guys love the fact that I call them the Pink Panthers. I also think it's quite cool. The name has grown on me. The team has grown on me. But I honestly can't wait, guys, for them to become Aston Martin Formula 1 Racing in 2021. For those of you guys that don't know, Aston Martin bought shares. Thank you, Jeff. Shush. See, guys, he needs to shut up. But in any case, Aston Martin bought shares within Racing Point, and as if 2021, if the Formula 1 season ever gets restarted with this current world pandemic, Racing Point will be Aston Martin Racing come 2021, which I think is an upgrade from Racing Point, which was a downgrade from Force India. Force India is still a name I love and cherish. That's the way I will always remember Racing Point. But now you have an upgrade that will say Aston Martin. That's a big one. So that's a good thing. But with me rambling on, you guys can see here, this is now myself trying to get my McLaren ahead of Carlos Sainz. You guys saw that we did get it back ahead of Sergio Perez, and all I was trying to do at this stage, guys, was to keep a car between myself and Perez. But every time I would get a car in between us, the car would pit the end of that very lap. Like you guys are going to see now, I'm going to get past Antonio Giovinazzi in very dominant fashion and very easy fashion. That shows you guys how much the engine upgrades mean inside this McLaren's engine bay. And now you guys can see literally the same lap, just not even half a lap. Okay, well, this track is so short. So basically half a lap later, the Racing Point, who's got the second strongest engine on track now, shows the Alpha up just like we did. Yeah, and now the Ferrari, which is and according to as far as I know, the third fastest car in a straight line, is going to do exactly the same to Giovinazzi that we just did. And like, guys, look at my luck. I overtook Giovinazzi exactly a lap ago. Look what happens now. So because Max is also a problem, it's not just the Racing Points. Max is just as big a problem as the two Pink Panthers. Look at this. Boom, there goes Giovinazzi. My luck just isn't changing so far. Yes, I've been driving fantastically, but when you compare my luck towards the Racing Points, they've got the luck. What's the word I'm looking for? They've got the lucky side of things more on their side. As we jump now to the second Ferrari of Charles Leclerc, who is stuck behind both Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton. The two Mercedes are fighting fiercely, but look at the opportunistic Mr. Charles Leclerc as he goes around the outside. Oh, is that Valtteri or Hamilton? That is Valtteri, who is the leading Mercedes. Hamilton tried to go past Valtteri in the fun chicane next to the Wall of Champions. They upset each other. Charles blasted past Lewis, and now Charles is trying to get past Valtteri. Will he get the move done heading in towards the next chicane? Yes, he does. And that is a double move from Mr. Charles Leclerc. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. As now we head on, I think this is might be lap 17 round about there. And you guys can see I am still under pressure from Sergio Perez. And guys, all I decided to do at this stage was just to let him pass me. And then when we head down to the back straight, which is after this hairpin, DRS, overtake mode, rich mix, and just get past the guy. Because, guys, there's no point in trying to defend against that thing in the corners. One thing that I will admit is because our chassis is now one of the worst on the grid, that is really a big problem. And the next two upgrades that we are going to buy are definitely going to be two ultimate chassis upgrades, because we need the chassis that the other cars have that we don't have at this stage. We've got the power, we've got the aero, but now we need the chassis to go with. You can't have 2/3 of a car, you can't have 2/3 of a human. You need the whole package. You can't have 66.6%. You need the full 100%. So, as you guys see here now, this is our Max Verstappen going side by side with Sergio Perez. We head into the first sector, nearly into the second sector, and that is Max up into P3. He demotes Sergio Perez to P4. And guys, what I was hoping here was that Max and Sergio would start fighting, and that I would slowly start to creep away. But just as I think that, the Ferrari shows up and says, hey, just because you are now the second fastest car on the grid and the Racing Point the fastest, does not mean you can count me out of the fight. Yeah, guys, this race was fun, don't get me wrong, but the frustration levels were high. Because no matter what the bloody sock I did, I said sock, yes, like the sock you wear on your foot. No matter what the bloody sock I did, I couldn't get away from them. And guys, I turned this car up to 11 multiple times, but I couldn't. So the only thing that made sense to me at this very critical stage of the Grand Prix, you guys saw in the beginning of the race, there was rain expected at the end. I was going to stretch out these medium tires until they basically burst, because I was hoping and praying that the rain would hit in the final 8 to 5 laps, and that it will not just rain, but that it will pour, that it will rain buckets. Because that is all I can think about to secure P2. Lucas Weber is long gone. Everybody still has a second pit stop to make. But I am gonna beg, I'm gonna plead to Codemasters to let the rain fall earlier than predicted. Please, Codies, make the rain fall. You guys see that the clouds are starting to bunch together, but it's still not enough. It's still not enough. As you guys see the immense speed of this McLaren, 349 kilometers an hour. Sergio, leave me space, bud. Damn. Hey, heart attack once again. But in any case, you guys see at the very next lap, it's the same story again. I just felt like Mr. Bean when he gets startled. Perez, you frickin' nincompoop! He goes to the inside and decides, I'm gonna go into the pit lane. I'm just gonna cut off his front nose at 330 kilometers an hour. That'll be fun. That'll not give him a heart attack. It will give him some extra lifetime. Thank you, Perez. No, that's not nice. That's not nice. Yes. So you guys see now the race leader is diving it into the pit lane as I try to gather myself back to continue the commentating for this video. But this is myself now being chased by my teammate Devin Butler, who's actually driving a pretty solid race in P5, guys. As you guys see, going to the first corner, that's how dominant Lucas freaking Weber is. He was so far ahead, and thanks to Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen not leaving me alone. They cost me a chance to take the lead of this Grand Prix. As the end of the very next lap, my teammate Devin Butler dives it into the pit lane. Because now, guys, there's no way we can win the Grand Prix. We have to settle for P2 because Perez and Max kept biting at our gearbox. So, yeah. All we can do now is hope for the best, hope that we secure P2, that it stays P2, and that the rain starts to come down. Because, guys, let me tell you how desperate I was. The mediums you can't do a one-stop here around Canada from softs to mediums. I was willing to do that. And as you guys see, the rain eventually falls with 5 laps to go. And at this stage, guys, my tires, you guys when I usually say my tires are dead, they're on like 50, maybe 60%. Guys, my tires were, I think about over 70% if I'm not mistaken, at least 65, something like that. They were not off the cliff, they were halfway into the Earth's core, they were so far down. And the rain, it was like a little tinkle of a toddler. It wasn't raining, it was peeing. There wasn't any water coming down. The grip didn't go away, the track didn't even get cold. So, one thing guys, that is pure desperation. That is pure desperation to get this McLaren ahead of that Racing Point. What am I doing? Oh no, we keep P2, but we're only denying the inevitable. Look, guys, I can't get out of a corner with any amount of speed because the tires just don't have the grip. The car's got the speed, the tires don't have the grip. It doesn't help you've got a stupidly fast car, but you're driving on rubber that should have been thrown into the bin about 10 laps ago. And that's not even a joke, it's about 10 laps ago. Guys, Perez caught me within 8 laps. A full pit stop length, he caught me within 8 laps. Yeah. It's not that the McLaren is slow. The McLaren is clearly not slow anymore, especially not after what you guys saw the previous round in Monaco. The McLaren's not slow anymore, but this was a gamble that didn't pay off at all. It turned into a frag grenade, and it blew up right in my face. As you guys see, even my teammate Devin Butler gets past me. Guys, I think Max Verstappen had some sort of engine issue. So it was 1-2 for Racing Point, 3-4 for McLaren. And guys, at this stage, you guys can see they are the 2 Ferraris. I just said, screw it. Even though the track's not wet enough, let's strap on the intermediate. And guys, look at this. As I entered my pit box, they disabled DRS. So my timing was good, but we've got 3 laps to go. What am I going to do in 3 laps? What? You tell me, what am I going to do? I'm going to have the grip advantage, yes, but I need at least 5 laps to get back my P2. Guys, look at Lucas Weber. He just started the back straight. There's no way you're going to catch him. No way. No way at all. And as you guys see, heading on to lap 34 of 35, we catch up to the rear end of Lewis Hamilton, he's actually Hamilton? That's a little violent, bro. He squeezes me to the inside of the track and he makes contact! Sends me to cut the chicane. Luckily, because he bumped me, the stewards didn't do anything. I didn't even get a warning for cutting the corner. And because he did that, I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to give you back the position because that was just unsportsmanlike behavior. You guys can see coming out of the hairpin. Now, finally, the track is cold and the slicks are useless. So, finally, I've got the grip advantage. But it's too little too late. Guys, look at where Weber is. He's already within Sector 2, where I overtook Hamilton. That's where he is already. He has got to win this race once again in dominant fashion. Like I said, the previous race in Grand Prix. The previous... Sorry, I'm a nanny. Like I said, the previous Grand Prix in Monaco, I'm tired of seeing him win. I'm tired of seeing him on the top step of the podium. And I'm tired of saying Lucas Weber has won this Grand Prix in dominant fashion. Can the guy just lose for once? As you guys see, Sergio Perez is going to take a very, very well fought and actually stolen from me P2. My teammate Devin Butler is at least going to make the punch to the face, well, the explosion to the face of McLaren a little bit lighter, as he's going to come home in P3. And, yeah, we're probably going to end like P6. No, wait, we came out in P7, we overtook 2 cars, that's P5. Where's Charles Leclerc? Guys, yes, Charles. Yes, Charles, guys, we can still get P4. Come on, the place where we started. Come on, at least have this little bit of have a little swan song, even if it's like just 2 notes. Yes! Yes! Yes, guys, on the final lap, we get back into P4, where we started the Grand Prix, so it's not the end of the world, but like I usually have a complaint at the end of a Grand Prix, which I feel I deserved more, guys. It could have been so much more, but it's P6 here in Montreal.
And an incredible win for Racing Point. A brilliant performance. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Let's see how the driver's standings have changed. It's a good result for Lucas Weber, who extends his advantage at the top of the championship. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
I'll probably go for Pierre Gasly. The team did a good job with the strategy to put him in amongst the pack, but it's the driver's job to capitalise on those opportunities, and he did so with a lot of skill.
Let's move on to the constructors. Racing Point continue to run away with it out in front. Another team that will be satisfied with this Grand Prix is Alfa Romeo, whose good result moves them further up the championship. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
Guys, what an absolutely crazy Canadian Grand Prix. Yes, it wasn't what we wanted it to be. I wanted to go for a win. I wanted to dethrone Lucas Weber. But that'll have to wait for the future. Guys, that has been this episode. And even though I sound disappointed, it was still a solid result. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying till the end. If you haven't done it yet, please drop a like down below on the video. It's only going to take you 2 seconds. Guys, please follow me on all my social media pages, and if you share this video on Twitter or Instagram, tag me and I will give you a shout out in a future video. And guys, finally, if you haven't done it yet and it's your first time feasting your eyes on Turbo Fox races, hit the subscribe down below. Don't forget to ding the bell to never miss a future F1 2019, Project Cars 2 or Dirt 4 video or stream. Love you guys. I'll see y'all next time when we head to France. Cheers!